Hello world, welcome to my Oracle and Tarot class. Welcome world, I am so excited to have you here with me in this beautiful space. I am going to teach a Tarot and Oracle workshop that is coming up. But for now, on this online video, I'm just teaching you guys some Oracle card reading, and I will go maybe a bit into the Tarot, but I am mostly focusing on Oracle. This is very specifically about intuitive card reading. So that kind of means reading cards from your center. And not necessarily following a book, but letting the information come to you, flow to you, enter your conceptual ideas, rather than the tarot where the cards are very specific to what they mean. Intuitive kind of means a little more open-minded, opened processing. So, I am a very creative person, and so I use the cards as a way to kind of process information. I started reading tarot cards when I was highly depressed. It helped me get through a lot of really crappy depression episodes, anxiety. It still helps me get through anxiety. So there's that. I do have a little syllabus here that I worked on last week. So thank you if you are watching this video. A couple of my followers and long-term supporters, usually sisters, sisters in light, love and light, thank you. Have helped support me in creating this artwork for you guys. And so the video concept idea is that I want to do intuitive oracle readings. So that means I'm going to focus on the oracle and not the tarot. The phase one, how to shuffle cards. I want to go over how to shuffle cards. That will also go over spreads. Kind of what to do if a card starts flying out at you. And then I want to focus on energy color meaning, or kind of reading the energy of the card, reading the direction, and other qualifiers. And then also kind of focusing on what your core values would do. And then orientation, I want to look at placement, projections that we make, and then like bilateral, multidimensional kind of frameworking. So we'll go over some frameworking. If this is new to you and this is something you have never done before, you're just like, I'm really curious how to read oracle cards. The first thing I can say is just try to, don't overthink it, look for synchronicity, and try to just allow the information to sit with you throughout your week. So if you pull a card and we pull the magpie, pay attention to how many magpies you see during that week. That is one concept kind of that I'll go over, and we will go over that specific concept again in a little bit more detail. But that is kind of where I'm coming from with this. I'm giving you guys a lot of information, but this is kind of specifically designed to help you intuitively read. Meaning we're really coming from our center, from our heart, from a place of compassion, and we are able to process information that's given to us. So let's begin. I wanted to, because this is a course, I think it's important to know where your resources are coming from. I wanted to go over just the names of the decks and who created the deck. So this one is the Starseed Oracle. It is Rebecca Campbell. I don't know this particular deck quite as well as some of my other ones, but I do really like the energy that she is working with, that she is designing. All of her artwork is very beautiful and a very light energy and urethral. This deck is the Wild Wisdom Australia. And the reason I love this particular book is, one, it's animals, and I love animal spirits, like spirit guides, animals, but I also love animals in real life. Who doesn't? And there is excuse me. This is by Karina Roberts. So Wild Wisdom Australia by Karina Roberts. I think her artwork is very beautiful. I love the color combinations. And then all of the animals in this deck are native to Australia. And so I think that is really cool, that she's kind of exposing people around the world to their native animal life. Then we have the Sacred Rebels Oracle. And this particular one is by Elena Fairchild. She has some other artwork. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I have seen some of her other decks. They're very beautiful, but this particular deck speaks to me a lot. It is very much working with Mother Crone Maiden energy, and it's just very deep and insightful, especially if you really want, a mother's perspective. That's a great deck. And then I have the Moon Power Tarot guidebook, and this is by Charlie Quintero. And sorry if I didn't say that correctly. I'm like, if you ever watch this video, I'm sorry. But I particularly love this deck because the not only are the cards immaculate, they are like some really funky imagery, and I like that. I like kind of the funky imagery. This one is tarot, and these other three are oracle, and we are focusing on the oracle today. So, let's see. Camera. 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to go over how to shuffle cards, energy, color, and meaning, and then the orientation. How to shuffle cards. Let's start with a spread. Okay. The first thing that we want to focus on when we're shuffling cards is we're going to take the cards. This is the traditional way to shuffle. We're going to take these cards and we're going to go forward like that. I'm going to sit up closer for this part. Okay, so we've got this here. Take it from the back. Drop a little, 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 drop a little. Oh, and look, we got a little green frog. But we'll put that back in the deck. Okay. So that is a traditional way of shuffling cards. You can do it this way. And the bigger your cards are, the harder this is to do. But that's how you do that. Another way that you can pull tarot is you take the cards and you set it there and you go whoosh, and you flay it out. And then you just go here. You'll pick your card, and I'll kind of explain some tricks that we can do to pick our card. Okay. Another way that you could maybe do this, let me see what I wrote down. I think those are the two. Okay. Another way that you could do this is, instead of doing that and you want to pick a card, split the deck. Okay. Have the person next to you split the deck themselves. I like to knock on my cards to wake them up. So this one's waking up. Okay. And then we're going to take from the top. And maybe if we're doing a 3-card spread, we continue to take from the top. Okay. And then we could take from the back if we were working with shadow or something like that. Or we can split the deck and take it from the middle. And those all can have a different meaning, partially dependent on how you feel, or also how you have pre-designed your structure of a spread, which we will go over that later. A spread is essentially where you place the cards, after they are pulled. This I also call a spread, but that's why I was kind of trying to change the word to splay, a splay, so that we have two different words for that concept. Okay. Okay, so I want to go over each one of these concepts with showing you this one way of doing this. So this is the example. We're starting. We are inviting in heart chakra right now because my heart is a little tight. So we need to invite in heart chakra. I'm going to tap. Hello, thank you. I can talk to the deck. I can say thank you for working with me. Good morning. How are you? Now it suddenly feels a little heavy to me, meaning the deck actually physically feels heavy, where before I woke it up, it didn't feel heavy. So sometimes I let the deck sleep or rest if it feels kind of heavy. Maybe put some selenite on it. But I think this one does want to work with me. You can ask it permission. And then you can body test. Okay. So it does want to work with me right now. Oh, and then the card flew out. So when a card flies out, if it's kind of like a soft fall like that, I would read it. I love that this card is a blue whale. It's a humpback whale, and it's the record keeper. So that's a lot of throat chakra. Whales to me are old wisdom. The record keeper is interesting though. I do feel very strongly that we're supposed to be recording. So one of my bigger projects is to record traumas. I very specifically would like to get groups of women together that have been through traumatic things, specifically with life and death transition. So I would really love to get some nurses together with people that have I am tangenting there, so I'm going to revert back. That is personal information about myself, so pull out. Okay, humpback whale, record keeper, yes. If the card flies out, it's kind of like, this one was like light, but if it's like aggressive, or it's like pushing, or if it's like really aggressive, then we are gonna be like, no, I will deal with you later. Does that make sense? So if they're like aggressive, we're like, no, thank you. You're turned off. But if it is like soft and lighter energy, then I'm happy to work with it. You know what I mean? And that's a judgment call on my end. A lot of tarot reading is about developing your sense of judgment. So that's my judgment. Is like, if my deck is tired, then I'm not gonna force it to work with me. Now the part that's hard is kind of that embodiment. Like, how do we make these cards feel alive, right? When I first started pulling tarot, I didn't actually pick up intuitive information. It's now that I've done it so many times, I can pick up on those subtleties a lot better. where I wasn't able to do that before. Not in the same sense. There is distinction that I feel, and it doesn't feel made up to me. It feels real to me. Like when I do this and all of a sudden I notice it feels heavier, I'm not making that up. When I go like this and a card flies out, I'm not making that up, right? Like, but I also choose to trust my intuition. So that is kind of what we're trying to develop, is that sense of my reality is real. Okay. Flying cards, supernatural. Okay, so when we're working with supernatural, that is when I first started trying to pull cards. It was because I was trying to communicate with somebody that had passed when I was a kid, one of my friends, and I felt like they were kind of haunting me, and so I wanted to get rid of that haunting. It didn't feel like it was a haunting that was terrifying. It wasn't, but it did feel like they were a joker, and they were messing with me. That's kind of what my experience felt like when I was a kid. I kind of felt messed with some supernatural things, and I do see shadows sometimes when things are really bad. I think part of the eye will like kind of create shadows, like even like with your eyes kind of closing a little bit, maybe something like that. Same thing with people when they get mad, they might see red. For me, I see shadows, and I try to not deny that happens, but also I also get that maybe it's actually just like something that's like biological that's going on. Does that make sense? Like you get stressed, something happens. So, if I'm trying to communicate with something supernatural, meaning angel, spirit, guide, somebody that is passed, maybe this is just to help people who are grieving, I'm not sure, but this is what I do. So like, I would say my friend Alex, that's his name in my reality. I don't believe that was his name, but name in my reality, is sitting here, so I can talk to him if he's sitting here. But then let's say I actually felt like there was like an energetic cat for a while. That could be the cat. So sun magic, bringing light to your situation, and listen. So maybe, animals want to connect with the spirit realm.